Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to another episode of our Civilization 6 experiment, our scientific showdown. This is our heat number 2. We have China, Germany, Australia, and Sumeria in this heat. And currently, here's the score breakdown. Just exactly what I said: China, Germany, Australia, and Sumeria, and they've actually paired up with each other, which is interesting to see. I mean, China's really jumped out to the lead by quite a bit, and Sumeria is really struggling. So I don't know, it could just be placement of where they're at and things like that, but it's still kind of telling. Science overall, I mean, nobody's really done anything towards the space victory, it looks like. Yeah, everybody's still good there. Currently, Australia is actually leading as far as the number of techs. So that's interesting to see. And actually, the Sumeria up here, who's not doing that good, is actually in 4th place in number of techs. So that's kind of interesting. But no surprise, the Chinas are right there. And China, as a reminder, was my pick to win this whole thing. We will see if I was correct. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and jump ahead. I believe another 50 turns. And I think it's 50 turns. But we'll see. It's either 50 or 25. I can't remember if I flipped it over to 25 yet. But we'll jump ahead here. And I'll catch you back later. All right, here we are, 50 turns into the future, turn 301. First thing I notice is that Sumeria up here is actually being attacked by China and actually Australia as well. So both of these guys are up here kind of working on him a little bit. Interesting to see. Let's go ahead and go through the guys. I mean, Sumeria does only have the 5 cities still. I mean, it's just not a great start for the Sumeria, although they were in 4th place on total number of techs the last time we checked in at turn 250. So interesting. They still have a lot of ziggurats. Excuse me. A lot of ziggurats that are giving them a lot of extra science there. Germany over here is down to 5 cities. Oh, they actually lost. Yeah, they lost Trier over here. Wow, big time. Look at all the units that Australia sent over here. Really whooping up on them pretty big time. It's fascinating to see. Okay, so that's interesting. And then down here we have Australia again. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cities. They're just exploding right now. Truthfully, they were in a good spot with all the mountains and stuff around them to just kind of play passive and just really go through the game. They have a lot of these campuses next to mountains that are really giving them a lot of extra science as well. I mean, look at these. Like that one's surrounded by mountains. That one's surrounded by mountains. These are surrounded by mountains. Just ridiculously good campuses for them. They're really doing a great job. They may actually be the ones that end up winning this now. I mean, just the positioning of where they're at and what they were able to take advantage of is just incredible. Now, this China right here is also doing really good, just overall in the game. I don't know, not necessarily maybe for science, but just general. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 cities for this China. It's a lot of cities. I still love this city right here. Kind of walled in his tobacco over here. It's still hilarious to me. But yeah, that China is doing really good for himself as well. This China over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cities. I mean, again, cities does not necessarily mean, you know, a better chance at science victory, but it does, you know, kind of point to them doing pretty good in the game overall. So that's something. We got Australia here, or sorry, Germany here in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not too bad. He's got a solid presence. Building a few wonders here and there. No mountains for him, though, so he's not getting quite the same bonuses for his science, or his campuses as Australia was. But Australia down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cities. It's not too bad overall. Oh, finally, somebody over here. I just noticed Germany over here. He's finally taking advantage of this natural 1 over here, getting a little bit of science from that, so that's interesting. And then finally, we have the other Sumeria up here. Again, so many ziggurats just everywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9 cities, but they're probably getting a pretty good amount of science. In fact, let's go ahead and check that right now. The Sumeria is right now, I don't know why I can't see that. Anyway, science per turn, 76.9, 180.9. So this one right here is getting 180.9. Seems pretty good. Actually is in 2nd place on total amount of science per turn. This Australia right here, which is presumably the one over there by all the mountains, is getting the most. But this Sumeria is getting the 2nd most, just barely ahead of China here. But China is technically winning in number of techs by actually 3 techs. It's kind of impressive. Overall score here, still got the Chinas on top. One of the Germanys is flipped down to almost the bottom now. The other Germany's still up there, and then the two Australias are still together. Unfortunately, our the player, the Sumeria that we spawned it as, is dead last. But the other Sumeria has moved up a little bit. But overall, like I said, not too bad. Still nobody. A couple people gotten the research they need for rocketry, but nothing built in the way of starports yet, or spaceports, I should say. All right, let's go ahead and jump ahead another 50 turns. All right, here we are back at turn 351. And this Sumeria right here is actually out of his war with the China and Australia, but he's in another war with the other China and Australia, which is a little odd, especially since they're on the other continent. So I guess that's, I don't know, a thing. Overall, nothing's really changed with his position, it looks like. Not really any units to speak of, so that's a little interesting. But other than that, nothing's really changed. Germany over here is back up actually to several cities, it looks like. I think Rostock is new, and Leipzig down here is new. So he's starting to get back in the game a little bit. He's also got some spaceports down already. He's got one there. Is that the only one? Still, he's getting something going. Here we are with the Australia, who's just really killing it with the science, the campus placement with all the mountains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cities, 14 cities. Overall, it looks like he's doing pretty solid. Nothing really changing necessarily. I don't actually see any spaceports for him. So even though he's probably killing it in the science side of things, he doesn't have the right text for the spaceports at the moment, apparently, or at least he's not been building them. So that's kind of interesting. China over here in the middle. I don't see any change in his number of cities. I'm not going to count them right this second. There's just a bunch of them. If I don't see anything that's changed, I'm not going to bother. I also don't see any spaceports for him, so it's really interesting to see that Germany over here got the first spaceport, at least on this continent. So that is a thing. Oh, nope, he's building one right there. So he's starting to get in the game a little bit. All right, let's come over here to the other China. He's building a spaceport here, and that's good to see. He's also got one already built here, so that's pretty good. Another one. So this China is really starting to do a lot more with the spaceports than anybody else, really. So many cities. He's got another one up here. I think this one's actually fairly new as well. So he's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 cities. And he's got a settler up there going crazy on the cities. Germany here in the middle. He's also got some spaceports down. He's got one being built right there. Another one being built right there. Several spaceports for him. Doing pretty solid. He's actually starting to get some more of these tiles over here by this wonder, which is really good to see. He has lost... Is Laroc his? Oh, no. I think Laroc was Sumeria's. So he's actually starting to flip Laroc back from there, it looks like. Still, like I said, lots of spaceports. Australia down here on the bottom. I'm not seeing any spaceports yet. He's got a new city over there. Not really seeing any spaceports. He's got another couple cities down here as well. So that's interesting to see. What are these? These are those new... Oh, those are Alcazars. I thought those were the new... What's the thing? The Arctic... the thing you can build in the Arctic, I forget what it's called, but those Alcazars actually look kind of cool with the snow on them. Like the research station or whatever it is that they've added in. I can't remember if that's a wonder. I think that might be a wonder now that I think about it. Anyway, overall, Munster over here, Rockhampton, there's a lot of loyalty flipping going on in this continent actually, so kind of interesting to see. And then we got Sumeria up here. Again, so many ziggurats. He's actually got a couple spaceports as well. And the fact that he's got the Ruhr Valley, maybe that helps him out with the space victory. He might not be, he was doing pretty poorly, overall on score victory, but he may not be out of the game as far as the actual science victory is concerned. Let's go ahead and check the science. China is actually in the lead with the number of techs. Oh, no, actually, John Curtin here is actually in the lead with the number of techs, but China is actually starting to build some of the space stuff. So that's why he's flipping up there in the lead a little bit. Sumerians are actually near the bottom. It's interesting. The overall score, still the two Chinas at the very top. Really nothing changed on the score rankings from the last one, it looks like. We got the Chinas, the orange Germany, the gray Germany's down here at the bottom, and then the two John Curtins are nearby each other. Overall science, yep, sure enough, China has finished the first, set. But actually Gilgamesh up here, this Sumeria right here is kind of swinging into the mix of things. He's actually got more progress than anybody else. So technically he is, you know, as far as I'm concerned, second place on the science right now behind China. That is fascinating. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump ahead another 50 turns. All right, here we are back at turn 401. Our Sumeria up here, our blue Sumeria, not showing any signs of any spaceports being built. Still, I just love to see all the ziggurats everywhere. It's just so crazy looking. They normally build so many farms as computer characters, but obviously Sumeria just, they get so much from the ziggurats. It's just, they're just everywhere. Germany over here, you know, they got a couple spaceports down themselves, so that's good to see. We saw that last time, actually. Australia actually didn't have any yet. Do they have some now? They actually got one now, and they actually got a rocket being built, so that's good to see for them. Is that their only one? Surely not. But I am not seeing another one. I'm sure there's one somewhere. Okay, there's one over. There's a couple being built over here. I think that's the only one that's complete, though. So, you know, that's a thing. China here's got several. Oh, I did not mean to look at the religion map mode. China's here's got several being built or already built. I mean, they've just got so many of them, so many cities available for them. That's really helping them out a lot. They've got one here actually already building a rocket as well. They've actually got, they took over, you know, and put a spot on this little island over here. It's interesting. Other China, several spaceports, several building rockets, etc. I actually don't see any pillage this time around. In their last heat, with Korea and all them, there was several getting pillaged throughout the game. I'm not seeing any pillage yet. We got down here, we got Australia. Am I not seeing any spaceports, really? Surely there's some somewhere. He's got a bunch of his what do they call it? Outback stations down here, which is kind of cool to see. I'm not seeing any spaceports at all. There's got to be one somewhere, because there's one being built right there. Is that the only one here? There's one being built there. So literally none finished, it looks like. Just a couple being built. There's actually one being built there as well underneath the trade route. So he's a little bit behind, if you ask me, but well, we'll see. Germany here got several already built. Any of them actually producing rockets? Several built, but I'm not seeing any rockets anywhere. Surely he's got some rockets being built. Come on, man. Can't just build a spaceport. That's not good enough. Well, okay, no, there we go. Right there. There's a rocket being built right there in the middle. So that's something. And then Sumeria up here, he was actually doing, he was in second place last time we saw as far as the number of rockets and or the progress towards rockets being built. He's only got 2 spaceports that I can see. And is neither of them building a rocket right now? Really? Maybe he just doesn't have the tech for it yet. Interesting. What is that? What is that green glow? That is weird. It looked like Northern Lights type stuff, but I don't know why it was showing up here. But anyway, interesting. So let's go ahead and look at the science victory. Actually, no, that's the reason he's not building rockets, because he actually has progressed pretty far. He's showing up, man, 264 science per turn. It's actually not the most. I mean, it's pretty good, but it's not the most. It's actually above the halfway point of so overall. But he also doesn't have as many techs as everybody else. But he currently has the most progress towards the space victory, which is fascinating to see him come out of nowhere. And actually Germany down here, gray Germany over here, who was actually not doing that good. In fact, score victory was second to last. Him and Gilgamesh down here at the bottom are leading first and second in space victory right now. That's fascinating. Just shows you score victory is not what it's about, man. Speaking of score victory, you know, the Chinas are still near the top. We got the Germanys. Australia's are kind of in the mix, but again, these 2 guys at the bottom currently, as of right now, leading the space victory. But there's still a lot of stuff to go. Still got to get all these techs and get all these things down here at the bottom. So we'll see what happens. We're actually going to jump ahead only 25 turns this next time. So I will check back in a minute. All right, here we are back at turn 426. The first thing I noticed when I loaded into the save was that this Gilgamesh is actually starting to build space rockets already as well. So that is good to see. Even though he's lingering back there at the back of the pack, he is in the mix of things overall. Germany over here, I don't see anything really changed. He's got, you know, a decent number of units here in the middle, a couple units here at least. He is building a rocket there, another rocket up there. So, you know, 2 at a time. It's good to see. Really going to help him have a chance to, either take the win or get caught up or whatever. Australia over here. Oh, there's our first pillage spaceport that I've seen. So that is good to see. He's got so much science. That doesn't necessarily mean he's got a lot of production, but he's got a lot of science. And if they can keep pillaging his spaceports, it's irrelevant. I mean, that science is nothing if he doesn't have the spaceports to build the rockets. So, in fact, was there a rocket on the launch pad? No, not necessarily, but I bet he was building one there. I'm not actually seeing him build another rocket at the moment. He's building another spaceport over here. China here in the middle. Are they at war with each other? It looks like they might be at war with each other. Oh, no. Yeah. What are they doing? Let's see here. Actually, our Sumeria is at war with a lot of people right now. I'm actually kind of curious. Let's see. It may throw up a whole bunch of guys, but I just really want to see. You are at war with both Australia. So, yeah. Sure enough, this China is at war with us Australia. So, that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. As far as... Oh, there's another pillaged spaceport. They're really going to town against each other. And that one had a rocket on the launch pad. So, this China, poor guy, I don't know what he's going to be able to do with coming back from that. He does have another spaceport over here building a rocket, so that's good to see. But I bet that other one's setting back a little bit. Another one pillaged over here as well. So the pillagings are finally starting to kick in. China over here. Yep, another pillage over here with a rocket on the launch pad. There's another rocket being built down here. Well, my votes for the Chinas not looking too good if they... Oh, another one. Rocket on the launch pad, pillage. Not looking too good if they keep getting their stuff pillaged like that, so... I was rooting for China, or at least I was kind of thinking China. Oh my, we got some nuclear warfare going on already, guys. That is fascinating to see. I guess we saw a little bit of nuclear warfare in the last one as well, which did in fact pillage, not only did it pillage a couple wonders like this one over here, but it also pillaged the spaceport with that as well. Fascinating. Who are you at war with? Australia. Okay, fair enough. Good for him. Australia's at war with several people. A couple more spaceports still here to go. So, I mean, he's not completely out of the game, but I bet that messes him up a bit. I bet that's probably one of his better places to build things. Speaking of Australia, they're down here. A couple spaceports that I see being built. I don't see any rockets, though. I could be missing it, but I'm not seeing any rockets anywhere. So that's interesting. Sure, go ahead and pillage people, but if you're not going to help build up your rockets and kind of keep going with that, then you're really not going to be able to do anything with it. And finally, Sumeria up here, who actually was in the lead. They got their production, their workshop over here pillaged, so, or their industry zone over here pillaged, so that's going to hurt them a little bit. They're still not actually building a rocket right this moment. So again, maybe they just don't have the techs. I mean, sure, they have some decent production apparently, but they're not having the techs, and they're not really going to help them that much. So let's go ahead and check the scores and things. Overall, Gilgamesh and John Curtin both have moon landing done, but we already saw Gilgamesh with moon landing done last time. He does actually have the techs now, so why is he not building anything? Am I missing it? I just feel like he should be building something. Come on, man. Get it going. But John Curtin down here, I mean, other than keeping his stuff pillaged, that's the only way we're going to keep him slowed down. Obviously, the pillagings on China is making an effect because they still don't have their moon landing done. Actually, Germany down here also does not have their moon landing done. This Gilgamesh right here, I mean, he's almost caught up with China. Last place on score, probably. Last place on score, and he's almost caught up with China overall, which is interesting to see. And then again, overall, actually, John Curtin did, according to this, take the lead overall. So I guess because they're tied with Gilgamesh, but they also have more text. So interesting to see. Yeah, I don't know. We shall see what happens. We're going to go ahead and jump ahead another 25 turns here. We're getting close to where anything could happen at any point here. So 25 more turns. Here we go. All right, here we are at turn 451. Our blue Sumeria. He's got a couple spaceports, but I'm not seeing any spaceships or any rockets being built at the moment. So it's a little interesting to see. We got Germany here building a rocket already. And another one over here. So he's actually got double up there as well. I think we saw him double up last time. Maybe those are the same rockets as last time, but it's good to see. I mean, you're building more than one, have a much higher chance of, kind of finishing this off with a win. Finally, I get to see Australia building a rocket down here. It's good to see. I mean, he's the one that's got the most science overall, but that's about it. And another rocket down here. So he's also doubling up as well. So, hey, you know, maybe he's finally kicking into high gear and going to try and finish this thing off strong. China still has a couple rocket silos pillaged at the moment. And I don't see him building any more rockets anywhere at the moment. Yeah, all these other rocket silos seem to be stationary at the moment, which is interesting. Okay, well, let's come over here to other China. Still, he's got one of his pillage down here. Looks like he repaired the one up here. It does have a rocket on there, which I think that's the moon landing one. So he's finally getting the moon landing. Yay. So I don't even have to check for his other rocket silos because that's the only thing he can build until he gets the moon landing up. Germany here in the middle, which has had a nuke launched against him, finally rebuilt this spaceport here. He's also got a rocket being built there. Another rocket being built over here to the east a little bit further. So again, multi-rockets being built is really, really important here late in the game. And then finally, Australia down here at the bottom. I say finally, we actually still got Sumeria up top. Australia down here at the bottom. Lots of silos now, but I'm not seeing any rockets being built anywhere. So it's a little interesting. And then finally, Sumeria up here at the top. He was in the lead at one point, surprisingly, even though his score overall is not that great. He's actually not building any rockets. What is going on, man? You were off to such a good start. You know, you were leading there for a little bit, and I'm pretty sure you have all the tech that you need. Why are you not building rockets, man? I don't know. All right, let's check the scores and stuff. So yeah, Gilgamesh, sure enough, got the techs, got the rockets. He's just not finishing it off. China, like several people, everybody except the Green China, who has a lot of cities, is done with I should say the dark green China is done with the second stage here. So everybody, you know, everybody's kind of sort of working on this last stage at the moment. Currently, we know Curtin right here is building 2 rockets right now at the same time. We also know this Germany right here is building 2 rockets at the same time. But, you know, that's not enough. He's going to need all 3 of those. Is Orange Germany building 2 at the same time? Did I say that already? 1 there and 1 there. So, yeah. I actually think at this point it's a race between either Curtin or Germany, green Austria or red Germany, or should I say orange Germany, unless somebody gets something pillaged. So, and the fact that Germany down here did get a rocket, you know, a nuke thrown against him, probably messed up his production and stuff like that in this area, especially since this industrial zone is still knocked out. It's probably going to take him a little bit longer to build this thing up. Whose is this? This is Berlin's. So, oh no, Berlin's up here. Is this one Berlin's or is that one Berlin's? Okay, that one's Berlin's. So, okay, so he still has the production for the city that's supplying this one. So he might be okay. I don't know. Germany or Australia. Okay, truthfully, if they were equally tied, like, at progress right this second, I mean, Germany does have a little bit more going for it, I think, on the production side overall. I don't know. It could go either way at this point. And again, with pillagings and things like that, or not pillagings, but with their spies running around, I guess it's pillaging, running around pillaging the spaceports, that could change anything at a moment's notice. I still think this Gilgamesh should have finished this a long time ago. He just hasn't been building anything the last several turns. It's crazy. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and jump ahead another 25 turns, and I bet this is the one that will get us the overall victor. So here we go. All right, here we are at turn 476, and as you can see, 2 people have completed the space race. Actually, first place did go to Frederick Barbarossa here of Orange Germany, followed very closely, like within like a turn or two, by the Green Australia. So virtually identical, you know, over the course of a 476 turns, you know, game. Very, very close. And I'm surprised, honestly. On the one hand, I'm a little surprised that Australia was that close, because I actually, between the 2 of those, I would have given it to Germany, you know, probably easily. I'm sure it was helped by Australia's very, very, you know, good position as far as science was concerned. So that really, really, I'm sure, helped him out a lot. But yeah, so Orange Germany was our first place finisher in heat number 2, and that was even with being, you know, pillaged here with a nuke earlier. So kind of fascinating. Third place could probably go to just about any of these guys. They all need 3 rocket ships to go. So let's see who's building what. Like literally everybody except for dark green China back here is in the same spot with 3 rocket ships to go. Now, some of them are a little further along than others, but let's start up here with this guy. Is he building any yet at all? Some little graphical effect there. Some weird graphical effects. He's still not using his spaceports to build anything. It's like he just gave up. I literally think he could have won this whole thing had he been building some stuff there. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I mean, it's his loss, obviously. Blue Australia down here. He's got 1 rocket here. And again, he needs 3. So if he's building 3 rockets, that would be very promising to see. He's got plenty of spaceports, but I am only seeing 1 rocket being built right now, and that's right here. So I don't know. Who else we got? We got this China over here. 1 rocket, 2 rockets. Still has this thing over here pillaged. He got nuked as well himself. So that's interesting to see. He's building another spaceport here on the coast. Another rocket pillage. I think that was... actually, we saw him rebuild that one, and it got pillaged again with a rocket on the launch pad. So, interesting. He's only building 2 rockets, but hey, that's a start. I mean, better 2 than none, like some of the other guys. So we'll see what he can do with that. And it looks like he might be pretty far along. Dark green China. Is he at least building his moon landing anywhere? Is that what this is? I'm assuming that's what his moon landing is right there. Because it got pillaged again up here. Fascinating. And again down here. I can't remember which of these got pillaged earlier, but man, he's got a lot of things pillaged against him. How is he getting some loyalty flip literally dead center of his entire thing? I mean, I know that spies can flip, can hurt your loyalty a bit. That's a lot of loyalty, flipping if you're going to get him right smack dab in the middle of his thing with, right next to his capital. I mean, sure enough. I mean, I guess maybe that's just signifying that somebody did something. I don't think it's actually going to be losing it. I think it's just, he got dinged for a bit, so he's not at 100%. Fair enough. Our Sumeria up here, I mean, he's got his spaceports. He's also not currently building any rockets. I have no idea what's going on with these guys. It's like they forgot how to build the rockets. They know how to build the spaceports, but that's it. Gray Germany. It's got 1 rocket being built. And is that it, man? Come on, Germany. Oh, he got nuked over, not nuked, he got pillaged over here with a rocket on the launch pad, so that hurt him quite a bit. So he's got 1. So currently it looks like China is doing the best. Okay, we don't have to check that guy out, obviously, because he's already won. So it looks like China might be doing the best with 2 being built at the same time. But, it's anybody's game, I suppose, since he's not building all 3 at the same time. All right, we're going to go ahead and put a cut in here since we've already got our winners. I will do a bonus episode next time to clean up the rest of our rankings. I do appreciate you watching, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you, and goodbye.